Hello my friends and welcome to the Age of Wonders Planetfall campaign. I say campaign because I loaded up this game just to, make sure that it loaded okay. And to adjust down obnoxiously loud menu music if there was obnoxiously loud menu music, which this game wasn't too bad actually. The menu music was slightly loud but not obnoxiously so. And the first thing that struck me, because I'm not going to do a first impressions on this game, I'm just going to crack straight into the campaign, is you have tutorial, found a new empire, new planet, and new campaign. And it's like, which of any of these things are you actually supposed to do first? Now, from what I've gathered, the first thing you're supposed to do is actually campaigns, but... So I clicked on campaign to see what that would be like. And then we have all these campaigns here, which these three are DLC and this is the original. My lovely wife bought this game for me with some edition of this game that came with the three campaigns. So this has not been this has not been provided by the publisher because it's Paradox. Anyway. So when I clicked on this campaign...
The currents of the void shift around me. Follow my voice, my last possession.
So I got this intro. There's hardly anything to this intro.
My name was Empress Carmenia, and I was the last regent of the Star Union. We built a paradise on 1,000 planets, a glistening web strung between the stars. But the cataclysm shattered all, leaving our people stranded and alien to one another.
The cataclysm!
Whoever you are, whatever you have become, it is time to leave this dark age behind and return to the worlds of your ancestors. Uncover our secrets, but heed our mistakes.
Okay.
Forge a new empire. A new age of wonders.
Okay, so anyway, I saw this intro bit and I thought, okay, alright, this is the start of the actual campaign. And then I noticed that the first mission is also a tutorial mission. So there's a tutorial on the main menu, but there's also a tutorial here. I haven't clicked on either of them. This is literally as much as I did because I was just testing to see, the game would load properly and to test my recording settings. And I just wanted to make a statement on this. This is really dumb. It's dumb to have a tutorial on the front menu. It's dumb to have a tutorial within the campaign itself. Because it's like, do I do this or not? So, as a competent strategy gamer, generally speaking, I'm not going to need a tutorial. If the game doesn't start with like Gary Grigsby's whatever, Gary Grigsby's X, if the game doesn't start with that, then I'm not going to need a tutorial. So, if I skip this tutorial, am I missing story or am I not missing story? Because that's what annoys me about tutorials, is that you end up missing plot, which is stupid. So, but then if there's no plot in the tutorial, and the tutorial is literally, you move the camera by pressing the WASD keys, you rotate by doing this with the mouse. I'm like, then that's gonna be like pulling teeth. You'll note that all the best games, and especially ones in my childhood, they didn't have tutorials at all. What they had was, the first mission would be really basic. Like, take the original Command & Conquer. I've got to get this rant off my chest before we even get into this campaign. Take the first Command & Conquer, for example. There was no tutorial. What happened was, the first mission was just really easy. That was all. You had some infantry, you had a couple of buildings, you were supplied with stuff. There was literally no way to lose whatsoever. If you took your hands off the controls and had no idea what to do in the original Command & Conquer, your units would automatically arrive on the beach. They would kill the like 1 or 2 gun turrets that were on the beach there that were of no particular threat whatsoever. And then the game would just be in a stalemate state until you worked out what to do. Until you know, basically you fiddled with the game and came to an understanding of how the game worked. I.e., you know, you clicked on some of the units, and then you clicked somewhere and they moved, and so on, and then you clicked on enemies and then they attacked them. And, you know, back then, there was almost more need for tutorial back then than there is now. Because back then, no one had seen, or hardly anyone had seen, a real-time strategy game before. Command & Conquer was the first big, popular strategy game. It wasn't the first real-time strategy game. There was a Dune game, if I remember correctly, that was also real-time. But it was the first one that was huge. It was the era where PC games were taking off. You had Doom, you had Command & Conquer, you had Duke Nukem 3D. Trying to think of what else was really huge around that timeline. Right, StarCraft came slightly later. You had Age of Empires. You know, it was that era of games where the real-time strategy genre and the first-person genre had just been born and PC gaming was taking off. And they did not have tutorials. They didn't have tutorials. No one even knew what to do in these games, and they didn't have tutorials. They just made the first few missions ridiculously easy so that you could just experiment and play around and come to understand how to play the game on your own. And then each mission after that, they would introduce a new element to the game. A new weapon, a new enemy, a new kind of terrain. Something. They would build you up as the game went along. So, anyway, I'm going to do the tutorial because I don't know whether it has plot in it or not, so we're just going to start it anyway.
Commander's personal record. Vanguard LCV.
Yeah, so we are. We're going to have plot in the tutorial. So I would have missed part of the story if I'd not done the tutorial. Our destination is
a small planet located near to the anomaly in the system.
But yeah,
Scans
it's like...
are showing nothing but static from the research output. The distress call we received...
Don't have tutorials. Just make your campaign such that it is the tutorial, and don't presume that the players are morons. End rant. Yes, if your game is Shadow Empire or starts with Gary Grigsby's whatever, add a tutorial. Because there's no way to make a mission simple enough to actually explain how to play those kind of games. But otherwise, don't bother. Okay, rant over. Let's play. I just bumped the challenge up to the highest level as well. I don't know if that will affect the tutorial.
Looms over the planet like a dark omen. These scientists must have been mad to study the phenomenon from this close. But it's not for me to question their motives. We're here to secure a foothold, search for any survivors, and investigate what happened. Prepare for Planetfall.
Okay, let's go. I'm not changing anything because I've never played the game before, so I have no idea whether I should change anything or not.
Welcome, Commander. I am Ava, your autonomous integrated virtual assistant. Standard issue
Hello,
for
Eva.
every planetary
Ava.
governor of the Star Union. My messages will appear when important actions are undertaken for the first time. They can be reviewed
Speaking
at
of
any
Command
time in
and
the
Conquer.
Imperial Archives.
Might as well just thieve the AI assistant from Command and Conquer by changing it ever so slightly. Oh god, no. There is no time to be lost. Battle, brothers! We know our duty, and we will do it, and we will expand. We will expand this colony. Okay. Explore nearby sector, take control of overgrown biodome. Reward 98 research, 31 food, okay. I guess we're not explaining what any of these buttons do yet. Diplomacy, operations, objectives, colony overview, military overview, and unit template manager.
The
So you can
Units
make your own
Template
units.
Manager interface shows you mod templates for units under your control. This is an army. Armies contain up to 6 units on a single hex.
It's an
and are used
army.
to explore the world, attack enemy armies, and defend colonies.
An army can contain up to 6 units. Okay. So we're playing a civilization style game, but with unit compression.
To move an army, select it, and then move the cursor to the hex you want it to go to. A preview of the route is shown, with a blue path to indicate how far the...
Okay, alright, yep, it's fine. I'm going to presume that it moves as fast as the slowest unit. 40 speed, 32 speed. I'm going to presume that this symbol, yeah, means move points. Yeah, so I can move up to 32. Which is a pretty sure sign that that your army moves as fast as the slowest unit. It just tells me what the cost of moving on water is, but doesn't actually indicate that I can't move there. I mean, I can't move there because it actually blatantly doesn't let me, but... it's interesting. This is actually very pretty water, though. Alright, let's go. No man's witness. Okay, so we moved. Now we're out of movement points.
Planets are divided into geographical sectors that contain natural resources or valuable remnants of the Star Union. Sectors can be settled with colonizers or annexed as provinces to existing colonies by interacting with the central sector map marker. Sectors usually have both a climb and a terrain feature that determine their economic potential. To make your colonies thrive, sectors need to be annexed to colony centers. This turns them into province sectors that add income to their parent colony once they are further developed.
So maps are divided into sectors, so you don't just take tiles, you take regions. What is that? Okay, so there's like some
resource
sort of bugs
nodes
here.
are remnants of the Star Union that provide economic bonuses when their sector is annexed to a...
Okay, there's literally nothing I can do right now.
The task notifier shows actions available during the current turn, as well as urgent matters that require attention. This is the colony interface. It allows you to inspect and control your settlements on this planet. The tabs at the top left cycle through. Under this colony's name, you can see the currently selected colony tab.
Alright, shut up. So I'm generating all of these resources, obviously, and then these are things which I can build. Seems
This is the
simple
Structure
enough.
Production tab. Colony structures can be built from here to unlock new units, strengthen the economy, and bolster the colony's defenses.
Only one central structure can be built. So I presume that you take hexes to build as many of these things as possible. Okay, well me to
Units
build
and
this.
structures can be built in a colony by selecting the when all suggested actions from the task notifier above the minimap.
Unlocks the ability to build the skirmisher, unlocks the ability to build specialist units.
The Sector Production tab lists the structures that can be built in any of the province sectors of the colony.
Okay.
The Colonist tab lists details of the colony's growth and habitat.
Makes sense. You can set people to improve happiness, which I assume increases citizen growth rate. Both features here improve food production, so you'd actually think that food production would be the best choice here, but anyway. We're just following along with the tutorial, so who cares?
All rival commanders and
Okay. What should we start with? Start with nanite support, so our troops have extra protection.
Welcome to the Research Center, Commander. Here we allocate knowledge to rediscover the technologies of the Star Union, and military research concerns unit unlock.
Okay, fine. So, I mean, this tutorial so far is just a lot of boring and semi-obvious stuff. And this is what I mean when I was having my rant earlier, is like, it's just throwing the full complexity of the game at you immediately and then trying to explain it all, instead of actually introducing stuff slowly. Over the course of a long campaign. Okay, so I guess you actually research this category and it unlocks all of this stuff. So you have a choice of nanites, laser, firearms, and void tech.
Society research.
And we are
concerns
split into
economic
economic
development,
and
governmental policies,
military.
and espionage.
Interesting that you can research both at the same time. You know, normally a lot of the tension in this kind of game is between researching military stuff and researching economic stuff, and here we are, we're able to research one of each. It refers to happiness as income.
Operations form a flexible toolkit that allows commanders to support military actions and steer government policies. Ops of increasing strength are unlocked through research. Strategic and doctrine operations need to be primed before use. The priming process takes a number of turns pending the ops cost and your available strategic operation points.
Okay. You know, why even let me click on this right now if I can't do anything with it? Okay, let's go kill this bug thing, which I presume is what we're supposed to be doing. Like, you know... It's not really obvious at a glance as to how strong my units are or what their particular attack types are. Whether they're effective against the enemy. I have some units that do flame damage, it would seem, and some units that do what looks like some kind of blast damage. Why are you recommending that I build this when it's actually building? Or did you want me to buy it now? Oh well, whatever. I'll add that to the queue.
The colony overview interface.
Okay. Do not have enough colonists to control additional sectors yet. Very low risk battle. Manual combat, abort attack. Okay.
The battle has started, Commander. The defending army always gets to act first, followed by the attackers. During a combat turn, each unit has
The only
3
good bug's
action
a
points
dead
to
one.
spend on using their abilities, which can cost between 1 and 3 action points. Regardless of cost, using an ability always ends the unit's turn. Commanders and heroes are some of the strongest units in any army, capable of wielding a variety
Blah
of
blah
power.
blah. Why say something so stupidly obvious? Of course the commanders and heroes are like the most powerful units in any army. Why wouldn't they be?
Each unit has active abilities that they can use during combat. Next to attacks, they have a guard ability, which increases the unit's defenses until the start of their next turn. Try moving your units forward to form a gun line, Commander. There are...
I'm going to presume that these enemies are... These enemies are melee. Ha! The cover actually blocks my ability to shoot. So that's useless.
Some units with ranged attacks can enter Overwatch, while
Let's get out of this cover and get into the open then. Fire a focused laser shot at distant target. Is 5 the range? No, it can't be. The range appears to be 7. But it doesn't seem to be listed anywhere. Okay, units can be rotated. That must mean that directional combat exists. You can move your full amount and still Overwatch. No, the red zone costs 3. Okay, there's a small area where you can shuffle around and it will not cost an action point. That's interesting. Can you actually attack obstacles? You do have, like, a certain amount of health. It does not appear so, though. Alright, Jack does not appear to have any special abilities at the moment.
A friendly unit has moved into cover. Cover protects the units by making it harder for enemies to hit them with abilities. Cover is directional and only protects against attacks if it is...
Yeah, cover is also useless against melee, since it blocks your friggin' line of sight for shooting. Oh, they didn't attack. They just sat there. Interesting. 27% chance to hit, I guess because of the cover.
Most abilities that are used on enemy units have an accuracy rating, which is the chance that the ability hits the intended target.
Okay, I hit slightly. Use the frags! Nope, too far away. Out of range. Okay, can't hit. That's not a good shot either. I get the feeling I'm just going to have to set up some overwatches here and hope that this guy just moves a little bit closer where I can actually hit him properly. And if he doesn't move, then I'll just close next turn and hose him down.
A unit has been staggered, causing it to lose an action point. Most melee attacks and explosives will stagger units.
Okay, it's fine. That was some very light damage anyway.
Enemy eliminated.
Okay, they're kind of limp animations despite the fact that the game looks pretty good, generally speaking. This game actually looks like it could be a lot of fun. Despite my whining about the whole, you know, tutorial thing, but this will be not the first game to do that and annoy me with it, so. 35%? You suck. Maybe I should try this wide field thing. High impact stagger units, which cancels defense modes. I'm going to presume that this guy is in defense mode. Nice. I also broke the terrain here, so now he's out in the open. 60% from here. If I move closer... 70%. Okay. I was testing two things there. Whether moving closer would improve my accuracy, and whether moving reduces accuracy. Because in some games, if ranged units move, they lose accuracy. Wow, he missed. Oh, but they get 2 shots. 3 shots. Oh, of course. So you get a shot. Because it only costs 1 action point. You get a shot for every action point you have available.
Enemy neutral. They never stood a chance.
Enemy knew. Enemy knew. The enemy knew. They never stood a chance. You can watch the replay. Annex fungal habitats. Exploit a province.
Objective completed.
Man, half an hour in, we've barely gotten anywhere. Okay, replicator factory is still building. Of course it is. We're still on like turn 2 or turn 3. So I guess the next thing we need to do is produce the colonizer, which means I'll get rid of the other thing that I queued up. And I'm gonna presume... that I can't colonize this yet.
The Objectives interface gives an overview of available. The Military Overview interface shows important.
Okay. None of that is interesting to me right now. What I want to see is that panel that showed you the various ways or the various things that you could do to a sector. Here we go. Annex sector for 1 Nebian. Whatever the hell that is. Cosmite. Influence, energy. Tactical operation points, strategic operation points, doctrine slots. Popular support. It's not seemingly listed as a resource on my interface anywhere. Okay. I am picking up the Vanguard military signal nearby. This could signify the presence of survivors. Still got some movement left, let's go. Building a base, process will take 1 turn. What about this? Sector limit reached. Nebian needs 5 more colonists before it can add this sector. Okay, so like this is like the central hub of your I mean, it's obvious that it is, but these sectors are not like additional cities, they're just like resources that you add on. This game kind of plays like Gladius. That's what that reminds me of. The Broken Elbow Mountains. Uninhabitable. Alright, that doesn't appear
You
to be
have
anything
just
else to do.
annexed a sector, and it can now be exploited for one of the main resources. Ideally, the chosen exploitation type matches the terrain and climb features of the sector for...
Alright, that stuff is obvious. There's a lot of story in this tutorial, so I'm glad that I did it, because, you know, it seems to me like we're actually establishing the characters here a fair bit. Well, we already knew that we were going to build food here.
Objective completed.
Sector dedicated to producing food. So if I click this... How do I know which sector we're doing it for? Upgrade sector. Fungal habitats. Oh, okay, so this is for sectors only. Sector production is literally for sectors only. Structure production is the exact same thing, but for your HQ sector. Slightly confusing, but fair enough. Science, bitches! It's not really recommending me anything now. Unit engineer. Place turret repair tools. Light infantry. Equipment, shotgun. Interesting. Is it wise to follow the chain, or should we be researching lots of things generally? Let's see, unit becomes 50% harder to hit and gains detection. Let's add the defense modules, because why not? And then I can learn how to add these things to units. It's so funny, it's like the tutorial is showing you some really basic stuff, but then totally skips out on actually telling you the things that are important. Like, this is a huge decision, you know, do you want food development, research development, energy development, or production development? These all seem like... This seems like a really big choice at first glance. I'm gonna go with research because it's never a bad idea to unlock technology as quickly as possible. Let's go. Lieutenant Zhang! What the hell are you doing on this rock? Last I heard, you were stationed on Leave 6. There's a name for a place. Our settlement is overrun with hopper hounds. Hey, we should mod our units. Good idea.
Objective completed.
Okay, so her army has no movement. Can you attack with 2 armies at the same time? Okay, you said that
are special units that lead your armies. Commander, you are also represented as a hero on the map.
Oh, right. I love this guy's armor that protects the least vulnerable part of his legs, but not the most vulnerable part of his legs. Seriously. You protect this, you protect the neck, the torso, and the thighs, typically. Because those are areas where, like, vital, words escape me. Not veins, but vital parts of your circulation are there. Ah, man! Why is biology escaping me today? Yeah, it is veins. It's veins. Arteries. That's the word I was looking for. Arteries. You can. You have major arteries running through these sections of your leg, and through your neck, and obviously through the main part of your body. These are areas that you actually want to protect. I mean, you want to protect the knees as well, but out of comfort, not out of existential reasons. You know, kneeling around on your knees and like shuffling through cover on your knees is hard on your knees over time. So, knee pads are you know, something that everybody who spends any time in the military crawling around ends up adding to their repertoire. Anyway,
mods allow you to improve your units later in the game and allow you to adapt your arsenal to ever-evolving threats.
heals unit for 15 and increases its resistance to all damage channels by 3 for 2 turns. Can only be used once per battle. Additionally grants 1 armor. Laser weapons have a 12 strength chance, 8 for repeating attacks, to set targets on fire, causing burning for 3 turns. Additionally grants 20% increased damage on all abilities. So it's a choice between an offensive ability and a defensive ability. Can I not buy this? I have the money. Oh, is it because she sat there? Yes. Do you know what? I can add them both, so why not? More shopping. 90% accuracy and 13 laser damage or heat damage. Wow, that's some serious damage that does. Takes your whole action, though. That's really powerful for a sidearm. 12... Wait a minute, 12 damage for one action point. That's freaking better than the bloody... That's better than the assault rifle. Explain that one to me. Although the assault rifle is repeating, I guess the handgun takes up your whole turn for one shot. But if you've only got one action point left, then that's actually pretty solid. Skill points. Okay, he hasn't got any skill points yet.
This is the unit panel, where all units can have different roles in combat.
Oh really? Units can have different roles in combat? Never would have guessed it.
Once mods have been assigned to a unit, a new template needs to be made for the modified unit.
Okay, fine. Might as well, these are straight upgrades and I can afford them. Oh, mod equivalent units 80 and I don't have 80. Upgrading this unit will disable its mods and cause it to deal less damage for one turn. Well, that's okay because they haven't got any mods to begin with, so... Hearty template, yes. Time to equip the Hearty template. I guess this is the one team that draws the short straw. No? No, I can mod all of them. Oh, it said that there were 8 units that I could upgrade. So I guess it's including the units that this lady has. Okay, well, I doubt that these hopper bugs are actually all that dangerous. Considering that this is a tutorial. So I'm not going to worry about the penalty. But I won't attack them this turn, just see what happens. See if they attack me. Nope, they didn't attack me. They just sat there. Okay, cool. Well, this seems like a good moment to end. The game kind of feels a little bit like Gladius and Civilization had a baby. I'm glad I didn't skip the tutorial, the campaign tutorial, because it seems like, you know, we are establishing some level of plot here. The terrain is like really, I almost want to say greasy. The water is stunning, but you know, the rest of the terrain kind of all just blends in, so it's kind of a bit weird to look at. But yeah, so far so good. I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to doing this campaign. As always, it's a hardest difficulty blind playthrough. Let's hope that the game will provide me with some challenge in this format. Because it's rare a game that makes me repeat a mission, so that is the gold standard. And that is it for now, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys next time.